United Nations says the representation of women from events like the ongoing World Economic Forum on Africa is vital in making financial inclusion a reality across Africa. Early on Thursday, Beatrice Marshall spoke to the Executive Director of the UN's Women Agency, Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka, on her efforts to champion the cause of women.
What is the message that you want to come out of the World Economic Forum in terms of its support of gender equality issues?
Well, of course, the World Economic Forum is about the people who attend it and the authority and the power they have to make things happen. So I would like to send a message that says that everyone who is in the World Economic Forum, and people are here because they are leaders and they're decision makers, they must make sure that they address the issue of a gender pay gap in their places of work, in the boards that they sit in, or wherever they have influence. So that is one. It's a very concrete thing. It's measurable, and we can come back every year in the World Economic Forum, and people can actually report, this is what I've done in relation to addressing this issue. Secondly, I would like people in the World Economic Forum to address the issue of representation of women in the labor market, at the most senior level, in boards and as senior managers, but also throughout the economy. And by that, I mean, we need to address the fact that women are at the bottom of most of the places of work, and that therefore they are paid the lowest wages, and in many cases they do not have meaningful career paths. This is something that is concrete that can be done for women.
Well, many governments, though, are now putting in place as well support structures for women in terms of, financial support, setting up funds for supporting women to venture into business and so forth. Is this a way to go? It's
part, but also private sector has got to transform itself so that financial inclusion is also a priority for them. They've got to recognize that doing business with women is good business. I think you always hear about private sector talking about how women are good borrowers, they pay back, they don't default, but for some reason there isn't as much enthusiasm when it comes into increasing the number of people they're lending to. Also, market access is important for women. So we are encouraging governments to provide opportunity within the state to do business by set-aside procurement of specific goods that women can produce. But of course, you also have to make sure that you have got the supply-side measures in place for women, that women can actually produce those goods that are being set aside for them to procure. And that is where us as UN Women, UNIDO and others, we want to play a role to support women as suppliers of choice. And also women must diversify so that while governments will give them a head start, in the fullness of time, women must have, like any other person, any other business, a variety of clients, and but government must give the women a head start.